Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is something that I did not hear about until like 3 years ago. I have personally struggled with my own emotions in my life. Anytime I feel emotional, I end up reacting in an intense or impulsive way, and it causes more harm to me than the other person. Like, it does, of course, harm to people around us when we react intensely to our emotions, but at the same time it causes a lot of troubles and hurt to ourselves. And I have struggled with managing my emotions my entire life, and I never knew that there is something called emotional regulation, where we are supposed to kind of deal with our emotions in a certain way so that it doesn't hurt us and others as well. And this is something that I've been learning for myself, and I've been teaching to people as well for the last 3 years. And today we'll be discussing a few basic things about emotional regulation, although it's like a huge topic and I won't be able to cover everything. But in the next 15-20 minutes, I'll try to cover some of the important and basic things about emotional regulation. Before we start, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, or if you would like to join any of my monthly group coaching sessions, click the link in description. So no one taught us what emotions are. Emotions are energetic states in our body. And the first time I heard it, I was so surprised, because we never had any understanding or even awareness about what emotions are. Anytime we feel an uncomfortable emotion in ourselves, we kind of tend to somehow try and ignore it or somehow push it away. And that's what we do all the time. And we also kind of discriminate certain emotions and we refuse to feel them. Like, it could be anger, it could be envy, it could be sadness or hurt. A lot of people are simply afraid of feeling their own emotions, and people also don't know that there is a spectrum of emotions that we can feel, and all those emotions are okay and it is good for us to feel them. But we have never been taught any of these things, because when there is an energetic movement in our body, which we call emotions, it feels a bit uncomfortable to us, right? We feel something in our stomach, something in the chest, something in our head. We somehow tend to push it away, make it go away, because we are simply not able to sit in that discomfort. That's one. And at the same time, what we also end up doing is, because something is making us feel uncomfortable, like some external trigger or some external person is making us feel uncomfortable, we start adding stories to that as well. We kind of hold on to that emotions by adding stories in our mind. We start overthinking about it. We start ruminating on it. We constantly think about some situation that happened in the past. We constantly imagine bad scenarios from the future. So emotions are just energetic states in the body. It's just energetic movement in the body, but we don't know how to deal with it, or we just don't have any awareness of this is what it is. So we have always been dealing with it in the wrong way. If I have to kind of simplify it to you, I want you to just remember that emotions don't happen in your mind. It doesn't happen in your head. You are not just making it up. Like, you're not making emotions up. Emotions are felt in your body, right? Anytime you feel uncomfortable, any emotion you feel, it's not just in your head. Of course, you get thoughts in your head associated with that situation, but the emotions you will be feeling in your body, right? And this is an example that I give to my coaching clients or anyone that I work with, that emotions are energetic states. Because if I have to kind of dissect your body and see, or kind of place where those emotions are, I can't really do it. Like, I can't really place your anxiety. I can't really place your sadness. I can't really place where this nervousness is coming from, or where exactly you feel happy in your body. And we, like I said, we often think it happens in our brain. No, it doesn't happen in your mind. If it happens in your mind, you won't be feeling it in your body, right? So think of it like feeling hungry. Okay, so when you feel hungry, you do feel it in your stomach, and then there is an associated thought, which is that, oh, I'm feeling hungry, right? So the thought happens in your head and that feeling happens in your body. Similarly, any situation that you face, anything that happens to you, the thought associated with that, like, I'm not feeling good about this person is not treating me well, I feel sad, whatever stories that we create, that happens in our head. And anything that we feel, the emotion that's associated with it, happens in our body. And this is a very important lesson that I want all of you to remember. Thought happens in your mind, and feelings, emotions happens in your body. And now, coming to how do we deal with these emotions, how do we deal with these energetic states? Energy is supposed to be released and moved and accepted, right? So any emotions you feel, it's not meant to stay. It doesn't have an intention to stay. It's here to kind of move through you. So anytime you think about emotions, I just want you to remember that the emotion is here to simply move through you. Just think that you are just a medium and that emotion is just moving through you, and it only takes a few seconds or like a few minutes for that emotion to move. In fact, there is a study that has been done which says that the emotion, like when we feel an emotion, the chemical reaction that's associated with it, right, it only lasts for 90 seconds. But and then it disappears, but when the emotion stays longer, or when do we kind of feel it longer than necessary, is when we try to resist it, when we start adding stories to it, and then we start ruminating on it. So if I have to kind of make it simple for you, I want you to see your thoughts and emotions differently. Don't combine those two. What happens here is different, what happens in your body is different. So kind of try and differentiate between those two. Your thoughts are different, your emotions are different. Now whatever happens in your thought, that is the story that you add to the scenario, the story that you tell yourself about you, the story that you tell why certain things are happening to you. That is the story that's coming in your mind. And whatever you feel in your body is the emotion that you're feeling. Now it is easy and simple for us to kind of let that emotion go, like release that emotion from our body. And then if you want to deal with the story in your head, you can. That has to be done in a different productive, constructive way. So these are like two different things that we'll have to kind of handle in two different ways. So right now, how people handle their emotions is that, I used to do this mistake too, that if I feel overwhelmed, if I feel triggered, if I feel sad, if I feel hurt, I would just go ahead and react impulsively. And what do I mean by react impulsively is that emotion, when you feel that emotion, immediately your mind will jump in and it'd be like, I don't want to feel this emotion, so I want to do something to kind of resolve this, or I want to do something to let this go away. And whatever our mind comes up with during that time is always a destructive behavior. It's either destructive to us or it's destructive to someone else. So we end up hurting other people, we end up hurting ourselves, we end up talking rudely to others, we end up doing something really, impulsive that we would regret later. And this is how we've been dealing with our emotions. But later, after the emotions has calmed down, like you sleep it off, you wake up the next day and you'll be like, why did I even do that thing? And this, I guess, happens many times when you speak really rude to your parents, or you have a fight with your partner and then you block them, or you say something really rude to them, or you would go ahead and do something like, in an impulsive way. Sometimes what happens is we would do something in our work. Some people kind of, they uninstall their WhatsApp or Instagram, or they deactivate their accounts, or they say something to their friends, or they immediately make a decision in that heat of the moment. So these are the things that we kind of end up doing, and later we'll be like, that's not me, like that did not come from me or my character. So we kind of act out of character anytime we feel overwhelmed with our emotions. And that is where we need to draw a line. That's where emotional regulation comes in, so that we are not overcome by our emotions. Your actions should be in your control, not in your emotions' control. Because if emotions take control, then they focus a lot on survival and safety and protection. So it ends up hurting others or ourselves. So the ultimate aim of emotional regulation that we will be discussing right now, like a few pointers, is that anytime we feel an emotion, we healthily feel it, we healthily release it, accept it, release it, and then we don't let it take control of our actions. We don't let it take control of what we want to do when it comes to our life and choices and decisions. We want to always act from our character, our values, and our morals, not what this emotion is telling us to do. So this is where emotional regulation comes in, so that you don't act from your that intense emotions, your triggers, your trauma, limiting thoughts, none of it. Because all of these will take hold when emotions are really high. So when we learn how to regulate our emotions and we kind of practice it regularly, it's not going to happen in a day. when we practice it regularly, we will be in a place where no matter what emotion we feel, no matter where we are, no matter like what people are doing to trigger us, whatever it is, we will be able to act from our character and choose what's best for us instead of reacting or hurting other people or acting out of character. So there are a few pointers that I have, which I've kind of shortened to give you a basic idea of what emotional regulation is. So let's get into that. The first step is, anytime you feel an emotion, don't try to make it go away. Please. That is the biggest mistake we do. Because we think that if I somehow make this emotion go away, I can feel free, I can be okay. And we, without knowing, we kind of resist that emotion inside us. We either try to resist it with our thoughts or we try to resist it with our body. So how do we resist it with our thought? We have thoughts like, I don't want to feel this, I don't want this, like this is not feeling good. And then there will be a lot of like self-destructive thoughts like, this always happens to me, why is this happening? So these kind of thoughts where you are resisting that situation or that feeling, these kind of thoughts will be there. So you're trying to resist that emotion or that situation with your thoughts. That's one. And second, in your body, you can notice that you are either feeling very clenched, like your entire body will feel very tightened. Like you can notice that your hands are clenched, your stomach is clenched, your throat is clenched, and sometimes your breath will also be very tight. Like you'll be holding on to your breath unknowingly. Like all of this will happen unknowingly, right? So think of, like right now, if you're like watching this video, just take a moment and just clench your body. Like you will be clenching your legs and your butthole and your stomach and your chest and your throat and your hands, your fist. You'll be able to like kind of clench your body, right? This is how you feel when you're trying to resist an emotion with your body. But imagine like just loosening it up. Just loosen your body. Just unclench your fist. Relax your body. Relax your legs, your stomach. Take a long breath. Relax your throat. Relax your entire body and just notice how it feels. This is something that we do unknowingly, unconsciously, that anytime we feel an emotion, we kind of tend to resist it with our thoughts and our body both. But I want you to be aware of that moment. Anytime you're feeling an emotion, just pause and just notice if you're trying to push it away, trying to resist it, and let it go. Okay, just relax your body, relax your thoughts. Don't try to resist it. And why I'm saying that is because resisting needs energy. Resisting needs effort. If you're constantly resisting an emotion, you will be putting all your efforts on that. You will not have any energy left to do anything else. That's why when you feel really overwhelmed, you feel like you can't do any other work. You're not able to be productive. You're not able to spend time with your friends or family because you're actively engaging in pushing something away from your life. That needs a lot of effort. That's why you often end up in a place where you're isolated, you're always inside your head, and your body is very tired with a lot of fatigue, and you just don't have the energy to do like basic day-to-day works. You can't spend time with people. You're not able to focus on your work. It's because of this. You're constantly occupied with pushing something away from your life. That needs effort. Think of it like this: trying to hold a door closed while on the other side something is pushing you. You are trying to hold that door. You are trying to push it away, right? That's literally what you're doing when you're trying to resist your emotions. If you're constantly standing and just pushing this door from opening, like you're trying to close that door, there's nothing else you can do. Like your laptop is on, your work is going on, your phone is ringing, your parents are calling you, your boyfriend is calling you, your girlfriend is calling you, your friends are calling you. Everything is happening in the room, right? But you are here holding the door. You can't do anything. You can't lift your hands, you can't lift your legs, you can't even go there, pick it up, nothing. That's exactly how it is. So resisting needs a lot of energy. So first step is, don't try to resist it. If at all you're doing it, in that moment, just be aware, pause and be aware that, okay, now I'm trying to resist this. I'm trying to do it with my body and mind. Let me relax. Let me kind of calm down. Number 2 is, get out of your head, jump into your body. Okay, this is a mantra. Get out of your head, jump into your body. If you go inside your head, what's going to happen is you're going to build a lot of stories about what's happening right now. Oh, this person always does this to me. They're doing this to insult me. They're doing this to get to me. They're doing this to kind of prove to me that I am supposed to be treated this way. I'm unlovable. All these stories that happen inside your head will hold that emotion, because you're kind of feeding that emotion with more thoughts. So the more you kind of ruminate on that scenario or whatever is happening, and you kind of add stories to it back to back, those stories will create more destructive thoughts, and those thoughts will hold those emotions in your body. You will not be able to let go of that emotion. So anytime you feel overwhelmed, there is no reason for you to stay inside your head, because that's not going to help you with your body. Like, that's not going to help you with that situation. Like, you need to release it from your body, right? So for that, we have to get out of the head, jump into the body. And now, once you jump into the body, what you're supposed to do is label those emotions. Try to kind of talk or say in words what you're feeling, and know there is a difference between the stories you add and naming your feeling. Okay, so this is something that people kind of misunderstand when we say that you have to name your emotions or you have to name your feelings. They think that, oh, I am feeling sad because this person said something to me. No, that is a story. Okay, oh, I'm feeling sad because this always happens to me, people always treat me this way. That is a story. What do I mean by get out of your head and jump into your body is, if you're feeling sad, okay, in that moment, like you're feeling something happened and you're feeling really sad about it, just try to objectively, without story, name it. Sad, I am sad. Hurt, I'm hurt, and I feel a tightness in my chest. I feel like I am going to collapse. I feel honored. There is a tightness in my abdomen. I'm holding my breath. I am clenching my fist. My blood is rushing. So this is what I mean when I say, this is what everyone means when they say name your feelings, which is that just try and observe what's happening in your body and try and observe what emotion that could be bringing up. I feel jealous. Something inside me feels like it's want to run away or do something. I feel like doing something. So this is what I mean when I say name your feelings. Okay, don't add stories. Stories are different. Stories is what you tell yourself about the situation and about yourself and about other people. But naming your feelings is just what you tell yourself, what's happening in your body right now. This is what's happening in my body and this is what I'm feeling. So come out of your head, jump into your body, observe your body. And the third step is, don't act impulsively. Okay, if at all your emotions are overtaking and your mind is telling you to kind of do something in that moment, act impulsively. Don't go with that, because during that moment, whatever your mind is telling you to do, whatever action it is asking you to take, that usually comes from an extreme security protection based action. Like, you would be talking really rude to someone, you could hurt them by talking really rude, because in that moment your mind is telling you that you need to push this person away so that you can feel safe and secure. And right now you need to kind of uninstall this application so you can feel secure. I have done this too in the past. We often kind of tend to switch off our mobile phones, or we often tend to kind of uninstall our applications. So these actions are our mind's simple way of trying to protect ourselves. Like, we're trying to be secure in that moment. We're trying to be safe in that moment. So these are like simple actions that we do. So the point here is not to go ahead with what your mind is telling you to do during that time, because that will be in an intense safety threat response kind of action, and that would end up hurting you. You would end up making decisions that you would regret later, and it would also end up hurting other people. Don't act impulsively during that time, and try to stay quiet in that time. So as much as possible, try not to do anything and try to stay quiet in that time. And the fourth step is to take actions from your character and your values and your morals, not from a place of your emotions. So no matter what that emotion in that moment telling you to do, try not to do that. Just try to hold on, pause for a moment, and then take an action from your character. So if you are someone who will not budge to any insults, or who will not put yourself in a very destructive place, or you will not yell at others or shout at others just because there is an intense situation going on, act from that character. So acting from your character and your values is really important, because it's those actions that will define us. It's those actions that will end up hurting us or others. So it doesn't matter what we're feeling inside, right? It doesn't matter what we're feeling in our body, what thoughts we are having in our mind. Ultimately, what we do is what is going to define us. It's what is going to kind of decide the quality of the relationships that we'll have with others and ourselves. So always ensure that you take a moment, you take a pause when you're feeling overwhelmed, and once that emotion passes, once you kind of have it in your control, and once it's kind of released, you are relaxed, try to act from the place of your morals and values. So number 5, which is the most important part about emotions, is that emotions are supposed to be moved and released. And one of the great ways of doing that is movement. Like I said, you feel emotions in your body. So in order to do something with your body, you have to move it. You have to move your body to release your emotions. You can't let your emotions go by resisting it, by talking about it, by engaging with it. You can only let that energetic state, that energetic movement go by moving your body. And it can be any kind of movement. Like right now, if you're feeling something, you can simply get up and move and walk and kind of go to a walk outside, walk in your terrace. Or if you have a skipping rope, you can jump. Or if there's any other movement that you would like to do regularly, which is like your workouts, regular workouts will help you with emotional regulation a lot, because you're regularly moving and releasing that pent up energy from your body. So anytime you feel overwhelmed, if it's possible for you to do this in that moment, just get up and walk. Like taking a simple walk itself, like walking for a few, even inside your room, that is going to hugely help you with regulating that your body in that moment. And if that's not possible during that time, like you can't really move because you're in a room with people, try to do that a little later. If you're not able to do it then try to do it a little later. But until that, you'll be kind of holding on to that emotion, maybe, of course. But as soon as you get an opportunity to move your body, move your body. Movement is a great way of releasing that emotional, energetic state from your body. And along with this, an additional suggestion that I would give you is have any kind of movement as part of your daily life. Okay, every single day movement is necessary, and it doesn't necessarily have to be workouts. I know a lot of people don't like working out or don't like moving their body much, but it could be as simple as cleaning your home in a certain way that you like, because that is also moving your body. You can have a ritual where you clean your room. You can have a ritual where do something indoors, or if it's possible for you to take up a class, then definitely opt for workouts, yoga. There are many other forms of movements. Like you could go dancing, you could go riding, you could go swimming. So there are many options for you to choose from, but make movement a part of your routine every single day. Just ensure that every single day there is a movement. And by movement, I don't just mean like very simple movements. I mean movements that would kind of push your limits a little further. When you work out, you do yoga, or you take any other class like this, it's going to kind of push you out of a comfort zone a little bit and push you a little further. It's going to stretch you a little bit. So stretching your body a little bit and feeling that rush of that energy in your body, that release in your body, that's really good for us. And the last step is, we don't feel triggered or we don't feel intense emotions for no reason. Okay, day to day we do feel uncomfortable in certain situations, and once the situation is done, like we are fine, we don't really think about it, right? Maybe you had a difficult encounter in a bus or in your college with your professors or at your office with one or two people randomly, one day, 2 day, like there is a social scenario. So of course we come up with difficult emotional scenarios every now and then, but not everything stays with us. But if you can just think about the thing that constantly repeats, like every time it happens, you are in an intense emotional state. Like anytime you have to have a call with your manager or your colleagues, there is this uncomfortable feeling. Anytime someone gives you feedback, there is an uncomfortable feeling. Anytime someone doesn't call you on time or get back to you on time, or is not inviting you somewhere, someone is canceling plans, and immediately there is a rush of emotions inside you. So these are things where you feel your emotions very intensely. These things are supposed to be reflected upon, because it's not like you're feeling those emotions for no reason, right? It's not because just like that you're feeling intensely for something. There's a reason why you're feeling intensely for certain scenarios alone. There's a reason why you're feeling such intense emotional reactions and responses for certain triggers. So whenever you get time, whenever you are alone, and whenever you're like calm and composed, just take that scenario that kind of keeps repeating in your life, and you also kind of repeat your emotional reaction to that scenario. And you know, it would always be like anytime you react impulsively to an emotion, it's you that gets hurt by your own emotions. It's not really improving your life, it's not helping you, it's not helping others. So anytime you get some time, just try and reflect on why you are reacting so intensely to that scenario, like what it means to you, why there is such intense reaction that you end up doing something impulsive, or you feel really bad about yourself. Because these kind of intense reactions, or same pattern of reactions, if it's happening in your life, it's probably because it's coming from a deeper place, or whatever happening in the outside is touching a wound inside you, or a fear inside you. So it's important to understand what this fear is, or what this wound is, so that we can work on not reacting that way to the scenarios. Like if a scenario has such profound response from you, like a reaction from you, it means that it has a lot of power over you, and it's not okay to, for any situation outside, any trigger outside, any people outside to have such power over us. So it's really important to kind of understand why we act impulsively or so intensely to certain things. And this is a self reflection that's really needed, and I would highly recommend that just think about a scenario in your life where anytime it happens, you also react to that scenario in the same way, right? You end up in a miserable way. Take that scenario and try and reflect on what it touches, what wound it touches, and how you can fix it. And this is where you can take help from a coach like me, or a therapist, whoever you would like to talk to, someone who can help you with navigating this. And apart from that, dealing with your emotions in your body is something that we discussed. I hope this video was helpful. The thing is, emotional regulation is such a huge topic. It has a lot of nuances to it. There's so much to discuss, but I've tried to kind of keep it short for this video. Anyways, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I'll see you guys in another video. Take care. Bye.